When you're buying a CD, what are you buying?
The sound recording, that's it. You're buying the embodiment of that one performance.
What rights do you get?
Well, that's the question. I'm also, in my mind, buying the right subject to the digital rights management, and I buy it pursuant to whatever digital rights management I'm being offered. Assuming that it doesn't violate the digital rights management, I also have the right to make a very limited number of copies for my personal use. And that's it. That's what I get. If I give it to you, I've broken the law.
Huh, really?
Yeah. Nobody follows that. But really, that you have, and there's actually case law to this effect somewhere, and you'll read different answers to this question if you go to the ASCAP or BMI websites, which are excellent, by the way, and also go to the United States Copyright website. Wonderful stuff there, but it's free. But when you buy that, subject to the digital rights management, and that's the thing, you own that sound recording. You can sell it to someone else. You can give that to someone else. You can make copies for your personal use. You can't make a copy for you. You're my friend. Here, have a copy. You don't have that right. You're not buying that.
If it's illegal for me to give you a CD that I bought, right?
No, it's illegal for you to make a copy and give me the copy.
I can give you the CD.
You can give me the CD.
If I give you a copy, I can make a copy and keep it for myself.
That's a pretty good argument. And give the original? Wow. There's something about that makes me uncomfortable.
Well, see,
you could do it.
This is the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, the laws are...
Yeah, they are.
Some part of the law does makes no sense, and people are not going to obey
Well, they haven't. They haven't. I mean, you're exactly right. But yeah, you're entitled to make a copy subject to any kind of digital rights management, and then you could give the original, which you bought and paid for, to me as your friend.
Yeah, I can resell the original?
If you're keeping another copy, that kind of fogs it up a little bit. Yeah, you can resell it. Yeah.
What if I go to a concert and tape the concert, and it's Dave Matthews, and he says it's okay, or the Grateful Dead, or whoever, and then can I put that on the internet?
He says it's okay to copy it, or he says it's okay to distribute and perform it.
Me.
See, that's the problem. What is he saying okay to? Okay to copy is one of the 5 or 6 rights.
Right.
For personal use, yeah, go record it, go home and listen to it. When you put it up on the internet, now you've got a problem is does that constitute a performance or a distribution? And arguably yes, but the fact that there's no tangible copy other than ones and zeros makes it legally questionable. If he says that you can copy it, that does not mean that you can distribute and perform it. That's what the whole amendment to the Copyright Act in 1976 and enacted in 78, that's what they did. They broke apart the bundle of rights. Prior to that time, when you transferred a copyright, it was everything. And at that point in time, they said, no, you can keep the performance and distribution and parcel out this. And that doesn't sound like a very good deal, but it's a wonderful deal. If you want to, keep everything but the adaptation rights and let someone make a translation or a derivative copy and translate it into a foreign language or something, great, get more money. Yes, sir?
Whose responsibility is it to enforce copyright law? Theoretically, who should enforce it? Practically, who doesn't enforce it? And ideally, how you think it should be enforced?
Publisher. I mean, assuming that you have a publisher, you have a contractual relationship with a bona fide, legitimate publisher. That's one of the things they do. They exploit the work and they protect the work. They get out there and they get recordings and covers and get it placed on TV and movies and films and elevators. And when somebody trespasses on your property, it's their obligation under the contract to enforce it, which means hire counsel. So that's what they do, and that's why they get what they get, theoretically.
On a case-by-case basis, for instance, in file sharing, is that really practical for publishers to go out?
No, it's not, and that's why the publishers and the recording industry have lobbying groups and industry groups who can do that collectively. That's why you typically don't have too many labels going after individuals. It's the RIAA, for example. So they have these trade organizations, which would be the collective, strength of all of the member constituents, who then can have the muscle to go after them.
So do you see the federal government taking more role in enforcement of copyright law in the future?
No, none whatsoever. Not unless it actually becomes a piracy issue, and then you have a criminal aspect of it, and then they're required to come on board. I don't want them involved. The law is the law, and that's fine, and let the courts interpret it. But I don't want the government enforced. No. I am not opposed to the notion that some uses do rise to the level of being a criminal sanction, and that's a reasonably big deal under the DMCA, which has basically been created to go after piracy. It's not one or two people in a college dorm room downloading. This is gigantic companies, doing huge amounts of work. And I mean, that is criminal, and I'm glad that there is that. And that would be the very limited extent to which I would want to see the government involved in enforcement. That's because they're the only ones who can go after criminals. You and I have to, we're limited to civil remedies.